today. Something a bit more fun. Well, say a bit more fun. Maybe for use. Italjet scooter. Sat in the workshop. Been sat in here at least 5-6 months. Haven't done a single thing with it. The thing's sat until it's been sitting 16 years. Hasn't ran. It's going to be one of those. Let's try and get it running videos and everything else. So the only thing I did to it was I hit the brakes on a hammer and I checked to see if it had spark, and that was it. And it just got stuck in the corner, just so I could sort of hit the ground running. I knew what I was dealing with. So if it didn't have spark, then I'd probably looked at ordering electrical straight away for it. Coil, and a CDI, maybe a generator or a stator or something. You know, because I knew straight off the bat I was dealing with electrical problems. So, but story goes is the lad rode it when he was 16, 17, parked it up, and it sat for 16 years in a garage. I bought it off the parents without him knowing, and they just said, yeah, I just want it gone. I paid ridiculously cheap for it. My dad ain't exactly thrilled about it. He's not really hyped up about it, but I grew up in the, well, I say grew up. I grew up in the 90s, and in the early 2000s when we were first started riding like bikes on the road legally, these were like the pinnacle of like scooter. Scooters sort of had like a second renaissance. You know, like it was really big in the 60s with like Quadrophenia and all the Vespas and classic stuff, and that stuff's great. But this is sort of my twist and go era, sort of my generation, to be honest. So I really like the Italjet dragsters. Unfortunately, it's only a 50. They do a 125 and a 180 of these, and they are nuts. But we got what we got. So the goal is today to get it out, and I mean, I'm being genuinely here, look. That is exactly how I packed it up with the dust on it. So I'm going to get it out, wash it, and the first point of call I think we do is we take the carb straight off it and dunk it straight in the part wash, because I expect the inside of that to be a nightmare. So while that's soaking down, there's a few other issues I've got to get doing. The kickstart's almost seized inside the side case, so I have to take the side case off so at least we can kick it. It is 12 volt, has electric start, but whether or not any of that works is another story. So come join me. Like I say, it has been off the road. It's been off the road since 04, which is 16 years. So if we can bring it, at least get it up and running. I ain't got any major plans with it. I mean, it could probably just, let's see how it cleans out. I've fucking got to stop waffling in these fucking intros. Let's get on with the video. I've got to drag the bastard thing out first. Thing's busted heavy. Right then, let's do a report. So, what's broken and what's fucked? Right, brakes are seized. Tyres are flat. Both sides. Front and back. Exhaust is rotten to pieces. Running board has a damaged crack, body damage here, here and here, where the guys used it as a skateboard. Chrome is pitted here and here. Front, let's call it radiator grille maybe. It's completely broken, so we'll have to look at fixing that or getting a replacement. Thick with 16 years of shit, but I did pull the L plate off the back, so underneath you can see the original colour, and it's lovely. Look, that's really nice. This kickstart is as good as seized. It don't come up quick enough to kick it. The carb is going to need pulling off. Yeah, so I think the first point of call is I put some air in the tyres, then hit it with an air line to blow most of the dirt and debris off it, and we start working on it. what's good about it? It's got a key. If anyone can see that, it says 04, so the third 04, so nearly as good as 03, the end of 03. So 16, 17 years it's been off the road. Original toolkit is in it, which is quite rare, so open up that in there, and the original italjet toolkit is in there, because you know, italjets are so reliable, they don't break down. How can I get a fucking key out? Oh shit. Yeah, no. Oh, I don't fucking know now. Oh, I think I've broken it or fixed it. Yeah, I fixed it. So yeah, then in here there's another little cubby hole. That's for your 2-stroke. Yeah, that's the mixer. It's got pre-mix. It's got auto lube on it. I haven't smelt inside the gas tank, but the fuel tank. I expect it to be fucking horrible. Do you know what? I think it was dry when it was put away, or as good as dry, because that doesn't, it smells varnishy, but not bad. The dust is getting on my fucking nose. And then under the seat, which requires 2 hands, so find me while I crutch mount you. No, not having any of that, so that's another job. So yeah. Let's stick some air in the tyres, and I'll show you, if I can try and do it one-handed, how unbelievably stiff this wheel is. Hear the brakes? That I can barely move, so the brakes are going to need sorted front to back. The back one freewheeling, the back one's moving, but still tight. See the flat spot on the tyres. Oh, I'm going to have to heavy edit in this. So yeah, you see the amount of dirt that's on it. Right, let's see if we can get this thing, will it run? Bollocks going. What else do we need to cover? No, I think that's all of it, to be honest. Still a cool scooter. I don't care what anyone says. These have aged really well compared to a lot of the stuff that was made in the same era. You've got to remember, like literally 10 years before this, you were talking like Honda, you know, Melodies and you know, other twisting goes were like, you know, grandma shoppers, and this looks pretty decent, to be honest. It's got the centre mounted shock absorber, which is really cool. Yeah, there's just loads of little details about it. If you want, if you get to the end of this video, there'll be a link to the part where I actually got this and I did a full talk around about it. So, right. More doing. So let's get some air in the tyres. Will it hold air? That is the question. Well, it hasn't come straight out. I suppose that's a good sign. Fucking valve. Okay. Well, they've both got air in. A hose. I'm trying to hose down most of this. Right, so you can get a bit of a before and after. See how shit it looks. I'm going to just chuck a hose over the whole, over the whole thing. Okay, well, wow, what a difference a clean makes. So, where do we start? It's going to be carb off. This exhaust cleaned up a lot better than I thought it ever would. I thought that was set for the bin, but as long as it's got no
holes in it. Probably a bit of a heat black paint or something like that. Clean it up with a wire wheel and get some heat resistant paint. It should come out alright. I mean, that was completely cooked within, like, obviously 2-stroke oil and shit, so that's cleaned up really well. The engine's cleaned up reasonably well. The frame is in good shape. I mean, there's a couple of little bubbles in the paint, but that's great. Obviously, other than the obvious cosmetic flaws in it, it's actually sound. All the paintwork's in okay shape. Some of it just wants sorting out. So I'm going to get the carb off, throw the carb in the bucket, then I'm going to throw the carb in the bucket. First I'm going to get the carb off, put the carb in the part wash, leave that soaking. I'm going to pull this side cover off to try and sort the kickstart. I've got a battery on charge. Hopefully the electrics will power up and the electric start works, but if it don't, I'm going to resort to kicking it. So I want to make sure that that is obviously working correctly. So this is unbelievably stiff and it don't return fast enough so you can't kick it. So I'm going to soak that in the part wash as well and pull all the springs and whatnot out of it to get it working properly. But first of all, let's get this carb off. Right guys, these people, the fucking state of my hands. I ain't got any gloves in the workshop whatsoever. This carb, I guarantee, has never been off this bike, well, off this scooter. There's 3 pipes going into it. I think 2 of them are water. This is the oil auto lube, and that's the fuel pipe. Then there's another pipe here, which is the vacuum. So basically, the fuel tap works off vacuum. So as it's drawing, it opens the fuel tap and lets fuel in. So all of this, you know, the whole of the fuel system could be complete garbage on it. So I'm not too worried about the fuel tank, and I'll tell you why. Is one, it's plastic, so it's not going to corrode, and any debris that's going to be in there is going to be old fuel and debris like that. So a couple of washes through with some fuel will shake, and I think all of that will come out. So I mean, if it was steel, I'd be really worried because the inside of it could be corroded, and that's just going to block all the whole fuel system. So let's see if we can get this slider out. What's the chance of that coming out? Whoa, came straight out. So what I like about scooters, I've just only realised I missed that it's got an automatic parts tray with it. Sliders out, and that is carb off, and that looks freaking disgusting. But you know, it might be. Let's be careful with that. Leave it on there. It might be misleading. It actually could be quite clean inside. So let's just automatically take the bowl straight off it. Stick it over to the part wash. Let's take the gloves here. So let's take the bowl straight off it. Hope this. Unfortunately, I did have a mishap. I broke the overflow nipple off the end of the carb. Not going to make any difference to it. It drops straight down. It's not in a fire hazard place. So, what do you reckon? What do you reckon, guys? Do you reckon it's going to be awful? Do you think it's just going to be like a big sea of white powder? Fuck off, that's spotless. Look at it, absolutely spotless. Well, we'll stick it in the part wash anyway. Okay, we'll leave that to soak for, I don't know, while I'm carrying on with the rest of the electrics. I want to try and get that kickstart working and the electrics working on it. There's still one in the fucking middle, you dickhead. I've fucking seen it as well. Okay. Right guys, this is the drive that's seized on that kickstart. These are pretty simple. As that gear turns, it throws out that throwaway there, but it's actually there in there and it's seized. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn on the freaking part wash. I'm going to turn on the part wash. I'm going to plug in the part wash. And I'm going to let this fill with some lovely geyser fluid. And I'm just going to leave that sitting while I then investigate the electrics. So I'm going to see about, see what's going on with the battery situation, even if there is one in it, whereabouts it is, because I can't remember. I can't exactly remember where the batteries are in here, so while that's soaking down, I'll leave that soaking for a period of time while I find the battery. So, right, while I've got this cover off, good point of call to have just an investigation, see what's going on. And I can tell straight away if this vehicle has been restricted or de-restricted. So, on a restricted scooter, there's a variable washer in the inside of there, and it stops the drive from running up. And I can tell straight away there is no variator in it, so there's no washer in it. Basically, the variator, this squeezes up, and as it squeezes, the belt runs up a V belt, runs up this V, and what that does is that actually gears up. So imagine it's like the front cog on your mountain bike. So right now when you're on the smallest, so you're like this, and then as you get faster and faster and faster and faster, it rides up the V, and that's how it gets it gearing. That's why it's called Varimatic. It's a very, very good system. Unfortunately, a lot of cars, there were two cars that had this system. One was a DAF 54 and the other one was a Volvo 440, and we have a 360 nose cone on the wall. So the early 340s run a Varimatic belt, and I've actually had one, and they'll do the same speed forwards as they will backwards. So it doesn't matter which way it's rotating, it will do, it's geared the maximum amount, it's infinity, you know, basically it can go either way, so it can do the same amount of gearing forward as it can backwards. So you got Volvo 340, someone challenged me once, said, wonder how fast you could drive it backwards, so it would do 70 mile an hour backwards, but you'd die. In here's the clutch. I can see it's not seized. Let's see if this turns. Yeah, so that's all good. So that's all gravy. So while that's the side cover is soaking, I'm going to investigate the electrics, see if they all fire up and anything comes to life. I have found the location of the battery. It's under the seat, and it's in there. There was a cover over it, this little cover. It went like that. So the battery's in there. I do have one on charge. So my plan is, I say we just hook a battery charger to that and see if any of the electrics on the scooter fire up. Let's go get a battery charger. Right guys, battery charger hooked up. Let's just close that. And let's go round to the front, and will anything come to life? Hey! I don't know what those lights are for. I think the red one's the 2-stroke oil, and the yellow one's got to be, I don't know, ignition. So, see if anything else comes to life. Indicator flashing fast. Well, now it's gone right speed. Do they work? Yep. And the front one. Okay, let's go to the other side. Flashing fast. That's going to be flasher unit, unless it's a bulb at the front. It's going back to speed. I think it's just the voltage is low. Okay, horn works. We've got any headlights? That could be run off the stator. Yeah, the lights would probably run off the stator. And okay, so if we've got any brake lights, I can't see. So have we got brake lights? I can't see. Yeah, so we've got brake light. The other one works. I can't see. Tell me. Okay, start. Do you hear a little push of the electric start? Oh! It moved. It moved. It moved. Oh, that's going to make life a lot easier for me. Right, so that other battery's on charge, so I'm going to get on cleaning the carb. I need to sort the brakes on it. So once I've sorted the brakes, yeah, so that it can freewheel. I don't know what the brakes are going to entail. They're probably going to want pulling off and stripping apart, probably new seals and stuff. So I'm going to get on cleaning that carb so that it's ready to fire up. So by the time this battery's charged, I've got one on. God, I waffle, don't I? So yeah, electrics all work. Happy. Going to clean the carb, put the carb back together. The engine cover is soaking down, so once that's done, but the electric start is spinning, so that's going to make my life a little bit easier. The brakes are going to need rectifying on it. They are seized. I don't know if it's the pistons or the pads, but they're going to need some sort of work. So let's get it running, get it fired up for the first time, and then we'll see everything. Because if it doesn't run, then this might be a one that's going to go off to a project for someone else. But let's not beat the gun, because I would seriously consider putting the extra money in to rebuild this as a 70 with a few hop-up bits like reeds and a bigger carb and stuff. But we can see it's definitely de-restricted, so it should do 50, 55, depending on how fat I am. So let's carry on. Okay, carb's rebuilt, fully cleaned, blown all the jets out and stuff with the air blower. I have put that little seal in there for the top, so let's just drop the slide in. Top tip when putting sliders in, look inside here, and there should be a locating pin. See that one ridge pin on one side? I don't know if you can see that in there. Yeah, see that pin on one side? Then there'll be a ridge inside your slider, so when you go down, you feel until you feel it hit that ridge, and it should slide all the way in. To be honest, that is very tight. So what is that? I got some WD-40 on it. Where's some WD? Okay, let's put it in anyway, because that's always the motto, innit? Just fucking send it. I need a flat screwdriver. Stay. And then do your top up. This carb is a fucking bastard to get at. You could probably strip the underpan belly out, the under seat out. It probably would help you out a lot, but to be honest, I just can't be arsed. Okay. There's just a bit of penetrating fluid in there to help that. It's coming all the way home. Right, let's get the thing on, and then let's put the side cover back on. Okay, carb is in and rebuilt. Everything seems to be working, all the pipe works on. I haven't put any fuel in yet. I'm going to fire this side case on, and if I remember which length bolts go in where, longest one in the middle. I'm going to fire this cover on, because that is now all done. The kickstart now is working properly. It's not got any tight spots in it. I don't know which one to take the long ones. I think it's that one. Yeah, so that's a fix that costs nothing. This is the bit where I normally speed up and play shit music. Right guys, status report. engine cover is on, all works fine, carb is on and all done. The snorkel I'm going to leave off, and I tell you why, because if needs be and I need to give it a little tickle, I can put some fuel down the carb. Like I say, I'm going to check on the fuel situation now. Now that the carb's clean, we did have spark last time I checked. I will be pulling the spark plug out, cleaning it, putting it back in. The battery's been on charge the whole time, and I've had this one, I've had the bike's actual battery plugged in as well. But whether or not it turns over, nah, that's scrap. Barely even turn over. So we'll get the other battery on it. I'm going to got a can of fuel here, but I'm going to mix a light two-stroke mix. And when I mean light, I mean, I don't know, something like 10 to 1, or you know, something really, really light. So yeah, I don't know. I'll find what two-stroke oil I got, and I'm just going to drop a litre in the tank, see if it drinks some fuel in case, because I don't want to put it all in it, it'll fucking piss out. So I'm going to mix up some fuel, put some fuel in the tank, and then I'm going to get it down off the bench and see if it will fire up for the first time. Right guys, got it down off the bench. I put some fuel in it with a light two-stroke mix, just because I don't know, 100% sure if that 100% sure if the premix's pump is going to be working. I don't know if anything's going to be working. I haven't checked water yet because I want to just make sure it fires up first. Or we get carried away, put water in it, it'll just come straight back out. So the battery was uncharged, but it was no good. So I'm jumping it off a car battery. Don't panic, it's only the ampage that's the big difference. It's still 12 volt. So that's going on under there with a nice little fire hazard under there. Haven't cranked, haven't done anything. All I know is it's definitely got power now, so we're good to go. So do we go for it? Let's go for it. No throttle, just cranking, see if it drinks any fuel in. Okay, nothing, not a peep. Let's see if there's any fuel in that fuel line. Can I see? Yeah, I can't fucking tell. We just give it a spray of WD down the curb and see what happens. Open it wide open. Nothing. Okay. Now what? Let's see if there's any fuel coming out of that fuel pipe. Okay, so it's not drawing any fuel in at all because I've got the drain out of the bottom of the bowl and it's completely dry. So maybe it just wants to build up a bit more vacuum. Maybe the fuel tap is bollocksed. I don't know, there could be a few things. What I reckon we're going to do is get some fuel in a squirty bottle and put it down the carb and just see if it will come to life, because I sprayed a bit of WD down it and it made no difference. So I'm sure it's sparking, but I should double check that, shouldn't I, really? Okay, so let's get some fuel in a squirty bottle and see if we can coax some life out of it. Well, I found some drags of clutch and brake fluid, some carb cleaner, so let's just see if this brings any life into it. So, yeah! Yeah! It's a goer! It's a goer! Alright, right, let's try and get some fuel in it. Let's see if we can sort out what this fuel issue. Fired straight up though! Jesus, it kicked out a bit of smoke though. I think the exhaust might have a hole in it. Alright, let's try and sort this fuel situation out, see if we can get some fuel in, get it running for more than 10 seconds. Right, after sitting here for a minute, I just cracked the bowl on the carb, and the carb is starting to leak fuel, which is a good sign because it means it's got freaking fuel. But I think the seals have gone in the fuel bowl, so the tiny fuel leak's not going to be a massive issue right now. Let me just move this so you can see. So yeah, so I think it's got fuel now. So let's see if it will fire up and stay running. Come on. Give it a squeeze with this. That's alright, isn't it? Fucking hell. So the workshop might have some smoke in it. So I set up the extractor to suck some of it out. I'm going to end up dying of carbon dioxide poisoning. It's got quite a small fuel leak here. The bottom of the carb might be fucked. I've got to find out where that's leaking from. But it does fire up and it did run and it revved clean, so I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to have a look at this fuel leak, and then I'm probably going to get it outside and run it again. The snorkel can now go in as well, so yeah, but win. Fired up and ran okay. Plenty of fucking smoke coming out of it. Look at the oil and shit dropping out of the exhaust. So yeah, it's got a fuel leak and it's coming from the bottom of that bowl. Need to get sorted. Would be the bit I touched, wouldn't it? I think I've just cracked the bottom of the drain, and where the screw goes is meant to be a row ring, and I don't think it's sealing. So bummer, but it probably just have to get another second-hand carb cheap or a bottom of the bowl. As regards running, perfect. So.
Right, that was a success. Few little bits and pieces to it. It does run okay, really responsive, the carb and everything else, but the float bowl's leaking. A bit of a bummer there, so I'm going to have to get that sorted. There's a hole in the exhaust that needs sorting, but engine-wise, it seemed bang on. It seemed to rev and pull all right. The brakes are locked on solid. You can barely push this thing on. I'll even show you, so it's not even an exaggeration of how tight these wheels are. It's just lock in the front, and I can barely move the thing. So the brakes are going to need addressing. So the plan now is to take the exhaust off, take the wheels off, pull the brakes out today, just so I know what I'm dealing with, whether or not it's the calipers are seized or the pads are seized, but at least I know where I stand. And then I'll draw up a short list of parts, and I'm going to get them done. Probably not record it, but I'll get it up and ready for to get it up and roadworthy again, because it's a shame for it to sit around and waste away, because it's a great little ped, these. Follow us on YouTube, like, subscribe, go back through the channel, watch some of the previous content I've done. If that's something you're interested in, then I'd really like it if you would consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. It'll help the channel grow, and it'll give me a bit of a kick up the arse and some enthusiasm to get more and more stuff done. So, ciao for now.
You ever wonder what goes on when the cameras aren't rolling? Well, this is me trying to remove like two rounded off 25-year-old rusted in head bolts with a 6mm, which are clearly just going to snap inside the cylinder head. Ranting, ranty, 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 rant. Fuck you.